Hey everyone, Ekman here with another video, and with FBO6 releasing this Friday for the Fusion World card game, I want to go over a couple deck lists that I've been working on and kind of been like lightly testing as we get into this format. I won't say that any of these decks are perfect, but they're kind of just decks that got some support or some new cards from FBO6 or the starter deck that released with it. And I just kind of want to go over some of my thoughts of some like maybe new decks and just kind of what could be viable in this format in general. So real quick though, if you guys are new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe. We make a lot of content for the Fusion World card game. We're going to continue with the full release on Friday as well. I also have my first tournament for the meta. It's going to be on Tuesday, May 6th. The signups for it are tomorrow as this video comes out on April 30th at 11 a.m. PST or 2 p.m. EST. It's going to be on the online client as well, so make sure to check that out if you haven't already. And I'm also going to be doing a live stream tomorrow evening as well, just doing some testing IRL with some new decks and some new cards, so should be a good time. So links for all of that should be in the description, and we'll jump on into it. So lastly, all these deck lists are going to be on my website, Eggman Events, which is also linked in the description, and I'll be continuing to update these as we get more data for it. The section for FBO6 is live for the website too. There's only this page on there right now because we don't have any other information, but as we get tournaments, as people get to God rank and any other kind of events, there will be more kind of content data and deck lists for anyone interested into it too. So anyways, jumping up, we're going to go through some leaders from the previous sets. They're going to go by color. We're going to start off with red with one of my favorite leaders that just never really did anything. It's the starter deck One Sun Goku. So this is like, arguably the first leader in the game, right? When attacking, you get to draw one card and then also activate battle once per turn. Choose up to one of your battle cards and it gets plus 5k power for the battle, right? So you get to do it aggressively and you also get to do it defensively, right? If you do have a card that stays on board for this effect, right? I do think that this game does have an issue where there are so many decks that just get removed before battle happens that you don't really get to use this effect as often as like you maybe want to. So it's been a little bit underwhelming for that side, but I did want to play this new Frieza, right? This is a new card that came out in FBO6. Permanent, your turn, your leader with Universe 7 and special traits gets plus 10k power. So if you play this on 4, if you're unawakened, it's a 25k leader that you get to attack with, and if you are awakened, it's a 30k. So it gets some good value. And then also activate battle once per turn. If this card in a battle area has 30k power or more, you get to draw one card. So this can be on both turns, right? Active battle means that you can do it on your opponent's turn. So this means that with this leader, you get the added bonus where this, you could use the bonus on here, and so if you do that, you get to draw an extra card. So that could be really impactful. You also can use like Tournament of Power Arena as well to give the power for the battle, then activate main. So I don't know if this is the best leader to take advantage of this card, but I think this card is really interesting for a couple leaders because of it. The other, like, there's so many red U7 leaders, right? There's also the one from the set, which is maybe better for all this archetype. I'd say like this deck specifically is more kind of catered to like the Son Goku mini Daima leader from the star deck that I had a lot of fun with in the last set. So this is a little bit more like grindy, a little bit like mid game, but you do get some good removal because of how these effects work. So I think that's important. We have like a lot of Universe 7 cards as well. But if you want to be more aggressive, you can definitely play like the U7 Goku from star deck or from set 1. This gets it all, if you're awakened, you always get this effect aggressively. This deck is also just aggressively leaning as well. So with playing out the Frieza, you get two 30k attacks, which is great. That gets a lot of pressure on your opponent, and you do get to, again, like get a lot of value from that because you get a card draw. They'll likely remove the Frieza anyways, and if they don't, you get again another double 30k attacks with also a card draw every time. So I think that's strong. So the other leaders you can use, you can also use Beerus if you want to. You can also use the Goku from set 4 or the Goku from set 2, right? There's so many red Gokus that you can use this effect with. None of them really work well with Frieza, unlike these other 3, but you can get these effects too. So they're just interesting if you want to play the card, if you want that advantage. But I don't think there's really a deck that does it better than either one of these Gokus. I think either the set 1 Goku or Star Deck 1 Goku takes advantage of this card the most. So other than that, we just run like the Universe 7 package. Universe 7 Goku is still a really good card that I think can get a lot of advantage as well. I am playing Awakening to Super Saiyan, so this is a promo from like the first set of promos. The reason we're playing this card too is that this is a potentially good card to help get rid of like a Broly 8-drop that might be one of the scary cards cards in this format right now. So choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, gets minus 15k power. Then if your leader's awakened, it gets minus 10k power. So the fact that it gives a Broly minus 20k means that you then are attacking a 20k body, which then is a little bit harder for them to defend, and you can get some advantage from doing that too. So maybe not the best removal card, but one that I've been thinking about. There might be some better extras to help combat Broly, but the fact that we are a power-based removal and Broly's like a 45k or a 55k, depending on which one you get, it's a little bit tougher, I think, for this deck in particular, and that could be a bit of a bad matchup for us because of that too. So other than that, I think this deck is interesting. I've always kind of liked this kind of like grindy value red deck where we're able to like give a lot of removal pretty easily, get a lot of advantage, and then at the late game we just get super advantage from our 6-drop Goku too. So here's the build that I would be playing with this one here. And then also we've got the Son Goku Mini Daima. So this is a leader that came out in FBO 5, and we have two of these leaders, right? We've got the one here from FBO 5. We also do have the mini one from the starter deck, which I generally like that one a little bit more, just because we are able to I like the effect of getting the plus 5k minus 5k. It just there's just a lot of situations where this gives you a lot of advantage, a lot of removal, and a lot of pressure. But the reason why I'm a little bit more interested in this build specifically is because of the new Shin Mini Daima that we get from FBO 6. So on play, add up to one card from your life to your hand. Then if your leader has Daima in its card name, play up to one battle card with a cost of 2 or less and Daima in its card name from your hand. So what this lets you do is it means that you can awaken very, very successfully on 3 energy because of this effect. So let's say you're at 6, right? And then you're able to on turn 3 you have 6 life, right, which is pretty standard, I think, for something like this. What you get to do is you get to play this out, then you get to play out a 2-drop, and we have so many good 2-drops. We have Android 18 Mini, we have Son Goku Mini Daima, and we also have the new Son Goku Mini Daima from FBO 6. So all of these are great, I think, for what they are. All of these two let you get some self-awakening too. So you get to play Shin to play a 2-drop, and then you get the self-awakening, and that's just fantastic, I think, right? That means that you get to go down to 4 life, you get to awaken, you get to aggressively play out these 2-drops that get value that you can pump up to a 30k using the leader effect from the activate main from Goku, and then the next turn you get to play your Glorio. And generally speaking, you want to play this card, I feel like, every turn after turn 4, and the fact that you can be very easily awakened, you get some like mid-game pressure. I think all that just really helps what this deck wants to do, so that's very, very strong. So we do also have like some ways to boost this later. We have like the Pansy and also the Marcerita. Marcerita is definitely the better card, but it's a little bit less searchable. But being able to make this a 45k double when your opponent's leader is generally a 15k, your opponent has to respect this very quickly, or else they kind of lose, right? We also have Son Goku Mini Daima, or sorry, Son Goku Daima, since it does have Daima in its name, so it's searchable off most things. This is only 4 or less, right? But the fact that it lets you get the plus 10k, sorry, off the Son Goku Mini Daima, like you get a 45k double strike, right? For no real investment, right? Lastly, we have New Adventure. Honestly, the fact that this lets you just aggressively combo, I think in some situations just helps a lot. It just gets you that extra little boost that maybe your opponent's not expecting, and being able to get something like a little bit easier over like the 20k difference, I think helps too. So I think this does help you just like awaken very easily. It helps you put a lot of pressure on turn 3, and that just means that you can more safely play out Glorio on 4 and get that advantage there too. So generally speaking, I think this deck is fine. I haven't done as much testing. I usually am not as this like aggressive player, but I think this has a lot of potential for it too. There's also just a lot of just other like Daima cards that you could be using as well, if you don't like any of the other 2-drops. Generally, I think the 2-drops are the ones, but like the Son Goku Mini Daima, the promo, this can also be used. The fact that you can also say if your leader's awakened, choose up to one battle card in your battle area, can't be KO'd by skills until the end of your opponent's turn. There's times where this can be really helpful, and then like if you're able to play it and set it up, then you can and if you keep it around, then you can play Glorio on the next turn, and you can use the when attacking effect again to protect the Glorio, which means that they have to really try to get rid of this card at times, which might be a little tough. So all in all, I think this deck is strong. It has like a lot of good synergies, and this Shin really puts it together in a lot of ways. So there we go. Going to blue, we've got some oldies on this one. I did want to put 2 leaders into this one where I felt like they're just going to be in this format for the long haul. It is going to be the Son Goku from FBO 3 as well as the Majin Buu from FBO 4. I think it's pretty clear that those are the 2 strongest decks at the end of FBO 5. And even though they don't really get any new cards, at least inherently, I don't think these decks are going to be any worse for what they're at. I think they are very, very strong, and they're going to be pretty present. I think, especially after like the first week or so. So I think all of this is good. Like this is just like the standard build, right, for what we have for this deck. The only adds I'm doing is I'm adding some absolute lightnings because I do think like being able to answer an 8-drop Broly is going to be strong. So this card being able to do that is great. We also can play the new 1-drop Earthling from the deck too, or from the set too. The let me double check the name. The Jiren. If you want to play this card, you can. The fact that this is a 1-drop 10k that lets you get rid of a 1 or less is nice. We pretty much already have that though with the Great Saiyaman, so it's probably not needed in this deck. But the fact that it's a 1-drop Earthling in the 1-drop Earthling deck, I think is strong. But yeah, being able to, I think, remove the 8-drop Broly on play just gets you a lot of momentum back. Helps you get to the late game, and once you get to the late game, I feel like this deck is just gets so much value and gets a lot of pressure. So I don't have much more to say. I hope I'm wrong. I hope this deck isn't super present because I'm pretty done with it personally. But I do think that it's a strong deck. It does take a lot of sequencing and skill to play at a high level. It's just like a little bit boring, but that doesn't mean that the deck needs to be hit. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this also. I guess I should have said this maybe earlier. This is recorded at the end of April, so if there is a restriction list to be announced, this deck might be just immediately invalid on release. But they haven't done it yet, and I don't think they're going to in the short term. So we'll see if that happens. But here's my current version of FBO3 Goku. And then the one that I think more people are excited about is the Vegeta Mini Daima leader. This is a leader that came out in what I think October of last year. Came out with the Goku one, kind of as like a promotion for the Daima TV show. But the fact that like this leader was bad, I'm going to be honest. Like this is the worst leader I think in this card game. For like it was in contention on release as one of the worst leaders in the card game. The when attacking is fine, but the activate main for one, choose it to one of your opponent's battle cards at the cost of 1 or less and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck, right? So it's like an okay effect, but we didn't really have like the cost reduction to keep up with it. There are just a lot of other blue decks that just got a lot more value, and the fact that this cost one just means that we had a hard time playing cards on curve, which generally most decks, including blue, like to do. So Bandai has seen this, and they're like, we want this deck to be very viable. So they kind of gave us like 3 promos that just make a huge difference for 2 promos and a main deck card, right? We'll start from probably the most important one. I think this is from FPO6. So on play, if your leader is Vegeta Mini Daima, draw 3 cards and then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and reduce its cost by 5 for the turn. So this is just great, right? I don't think you play this card on 5 just because it's a you can't use like your leader effect until you're at 6 energy because you have to spend the 1. But the fact that this can get rid of like most cards on curve outside of like green Broly stuff, I think is really good for something like this. It just, the draw 3 is fantastic. It's just such a hand refiller, and we generally get to the late game, I think, pretty healthy for blue for most of the time if you play it correctly. So that just helps out what this deck wants to do, I think, a lot of the time. We also get the Vegeta Mini Daima, so this is a promo from the pre-release events that are going on right now. But on play, if your leader is Vegeta Mini Daima, choose all battle cards in your opponent's battle area, reduce their cost by 3 for the turn, and then when attacking, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with a cost of 1 or less and place it at the bottom. Like this card's insane, right? Like the fact that it's it gets rid of essentially a 4 or less on play with attacking, like that's very good. The fact it's a 30k and it's also a 5k combo, and then also like you can, like, if they don't get rid of this card, you can keep removing a card every attack every turn. Like this just always gets value in my mind. It's an absurdly good card, and like this is why I'm like, oh, they really want this deck to be very viable. I guess that's fine. So other cards, right? We've got the Tamagami #1. This is a promo from the last season of events. But so permanent, your opponent's turn, if your leader's Vegeta Mini Daima, increase the cost of battle cards in your battle area by 1. So this becomes a 4 cost, which we generally don't have cost increase cards in this game. But this has been like one of the newer ads for it, so that's kind of neat. And also when attacking, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, and your opponent's battle area reduces cost by 2 for the turn. So that means that you can, attack with this, and then you can use the leader effect to get rid of a mid-sized body, which is pretty good. So lastly, I guess those are like the newest cards for this deck, right? We did get like a card printed in FPO4 on release that never really saw any play, but I think this will see a little bit more play since this leader's seeing a little bit more play. I really like 3-drop Vegito. This is a super rare from FBO2, but being able to get rid of essentially two or less on play is great, and then the fact that this permanent is pretty easy to obtain, you just get like a lot of good like sequencing and synergy with the rest of your deck. And the fact that it's a 3-drop 25k means that some decks kind of have like a weird time getting rid of this, especially if you don't attack with it. So all of that I think is good. I think this deck just kind of plays like the general blue stuff where we play really obnoxious, where we don't take damage very early. We just try to get to the late game very healthy, and then we have ways to refill our hand with Vegeta Mini Daima. We have ways to apply pressure with Vegito and Vegito, which we could also play like the 4-drop Vegito to play out if we want to. And we also have like our peel-off loops. Jiran, again, is a good card. When we have all this cost reduction, My Future can also get some things into range for reduction that can also be found off peel-off. And lastly, like there's some weird times where like we can use Final Hope Slash in conjunction with like the cost reduction to just get rid of a body back to hand. So with the aggressive thing, so this could definitely be like a 2 of in this deck too. I have it at 1 right now, but you can add it to 2 if you think that the cost reduction works really well with it, which honestly I think it does. Like you can do something with on like 5, you can play this out, attack, get rid of one of the cards, and then you can use the Final Hope Slash to get rid of the other one if it's just not in range. So I think that's like a good sequencing that, again, peel off can loop it, and that's just very strong. So we are also playing Absolute Lightning, again, in case we're playing against Broly. Even with all the cost reduction we have, I think it's a little bit tough for us to get rid of Broly consistently. So being able to just bounce it to the bottom of their deck is just enough, I think, in those situations. So other than that, I think this is a great game ender, right? Still, the fact that it gets rid of one card in your opponent's hand, like the fact that if we get to this, we get rid of Broly, this gets rid of Broly, right? And I think if Broly's relevant in this meta, this deck can definitely answer it, I think, very correctly. So here's the build here. I'm really excited to do some more testing with it, and there we go. All right, next up, we've got green, and so we are starting with Aandroidd 17. Generally speaking, I've been liking the more aggressive build of Aandroidd 17. It's what got me to God rank, the kind of like, oh, you just play all your, you play aggressive cards, you play Son Goku for cheap, and then you just do like a 150k double strike or something like that. So this is more of like the defensive build for it, right? And the reason for it is this new Broly BR secret rare that we got from this set. So double strike, then also on play switch this card to active mode, then add the top card of your deck to your life, choose all battle cards with a cost of 2 or more in the battle areas and other than this card, and you get to KO them. So you get to do kind of like a board wipe potential, the fact that it's a 55k double strike, but more importantly, you get to heal no matter what with this card, right? A lot of Aandroidd decks are playing like Cell with the idea that you can heal. You have to lose a lot of energy to do so, but generally you are fine to do so. Broly, for just like 1 more energy, you are like a bigger body, you get rid of bigger things, and you get the heal no matter what, which I think is just absurd, right? It's like obviously a great card. So I think Aandroidd 17 can still take advantage of the fact that it is the best ramp deck in this game still to naturally play the card for 9 energy. We are playing like the additional 8-drop Broly 2, which maybe we could play this as Cell, right? We could also have some other cards for it, but I think in general, like we just try to get to late game healthy. We have like this just great ways to put a lot of pressure, and then we have like the best defensive cards in the game, right? Gigantic Meteor, we have also like Earth Destroying Blow. All these cards are great. They can be recycled with Cell Jr., and we just try to get to the late game and just be, again, like very obnoxious, make it very difficult for your opponent to go for the game while we're just establishing big bodies every turn. So I think that's great. We're playing the Dr. Dro's lab version of it just so we can get to more consistent energy, though it does mean we're a little bit weaker on turn 3. So this deck could still be like a little bit slow if there's like some fast meta things, but honestly, I think this is just a really, really good deck in this current format still, right? I don't think Aandroidd 17 is ever going to be a bad deck. It's still going to be, with Aandroidd 17, 18 still around the way it is, this deck is just always going to be the best deck to ramp consistently. Broly, the new leader, like cheats out the 9 cost, right? And even then, like it takes 2 turns to do so because you already have to have an 8-drop established for the effect, right? So I think that's something that can prevent like that deck from being a little bit more strong, just because like you're only playing like you're only getting like a net of 1 new battle card on the board every turn, and this deck can go very wide sometimes. We get a lot of advantage, and I think there's just some great stuff with this deck in general. So we've seen this like kind of build before too. It's nothing super new, but I think being able to use this 9 cost Broly makes a huge difference in the deck as well. So there it is. And we also have Son Gohan Childhood. I don't know how I feel about this deck. I'm not saying this deck is great in any regards, right? We got a new card, and it's kind of I think it's underwhelming. Like you want it to work, but I just don't know if it does, right? So it's this new 5-drop Sun Gohan Childhood, right? Place this card in a battle area and into your owner's drop. If your leader is Sun Gohan Childhood and you have Android 16 in your drop, play up to one Sun Gohan Childhood with a cost of 6 or 7 from your hand in rest mode. So what this lets you do is it lets you play out either this Sun Gohan Childhood and lets you heal one, which could be good, or it could let you play the 7-drop 50k that you can use its on play if you need to. You don't have to discard the card. If you don't, you get to just attack as like a 50k beat stick, which is fine, right? But like you don't get like that much advantage for it, right? I feel like the deck is fine for what it is, and you do get like it's like kind of transformed into like a Son Goku and Son Gohan like tribal deck, right? Where we have like this 1-drop Chi-Chi, which searches like half the cards in our deck, right? Like it's actually pretty insane how many cards this Chi-Chi searches, right? Anything that's named Son Goku or Son Gohan Childhood, so all of that Son Goku also gets searched, which means that this is our like ramp card for the deck. If your leader is Son Gohan Childhood, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, cost 5 or less, add to your owner's energy and rest mode. Then you can add this card to your rest energy and rest mode. Or sorry, you have to. You don't have to choose an opponent's card either, so like you don't have to give them the ramp if you don't want to, but it can be some removal. So if you play against like Jiren, that could be good to get rid of their 4 costs and then go for game kind of thing. We do have like some additional ramp off like Nappa just so we can get some like a little bit of pressure. Nappa might not be the best card for it too, but I think it's fine. And then our late game, we do also have like this Son Goku, which again is searchable off Chi-Chi, which is fantastic, right? The fact that this Chi-Chi doesn't care about cost for anything means that this card is incredibly searchable in this deck, which is really strong. So being able to do that and get like this double strike in the late game is fantastic, right? We do still have like our leader effect. It only boosts this card for 35k, but can be used aggressively or defensively. We don't really have to get to high energy totals either, so we don't really feel bad about that. There is like the 5-drop Son Goku that we want to, generically play in this deck, right? It's a card that was made for it. Even though I think Broly took advantage of the card a little bit better. But we could be playing this, where is this one if we want to. I feel like on 5, we'd rather play the Gohan to be able to go into our bigger Gohans, but I think that's fine. We could also play this one too. We're not a Son Goku leader, but like it's a 35k that we get to, take cards from our life if we need to. But by and large, right, we can also use this one as well. If we have 2 or less life, it becomes a 35. But I do think like this does have like some potential to do well. Being able to be like a big, like this card's always going to be, I think, one of the best game enders in this game, right? The fact that it's a double strike that we can play for 3 energy and then we can just buff it. Like green has like the best buff cards in the game, right? Gigantic Meteor is still very good. Insta Kamehameha is really good if we just need to like get down to 0, like get them down to 0. There's like a lot of pressure and an advantage we can do for it. So I don't know if this is the best way to play the deck, but this is definitely a way to play it. This has made me consider like what are some great ways to do it. And honestly, just being able to heal and play a 35k 6-drop is not terrible. So there are some like maybe scenarios where we just play the 6-drop Gohan every turn, and then eventually we just like get enough bodies on board, or maybe our opponents run out of steam too. So I think that's powerful, but I do like the fact that again, this 1-drop Chi-Chi is really good for this deck. It has like a lot of search potential. And the worst thing about this deck, the worst thing about it is that we need to find an Android 16 and put it into our trash. So luckily our super combo is an Android 16 and the other one's a 10k that some matchups this is actually pretty good. If you're playing against green, right, they kind of have to KO this card, which means you get an extra block and you get to play at a 6-cost Son Gohan Childhood too. But generally speaking, it's just a 10k that you're trying to combo with, so you can get your effects off. So other than that, I don't think this deck is bad. I definitely need some more testing with it, but it has some potential to do well. But I don't know. I know a lot of people love Gohan as a character. And this leader was pretty viable, I think, in set 1 as well. But just to see it like just trail off because Android 17, 18 ramps more than it felt kind of bad. So we'll see if this is like enough of like a boost to make the deck relevant, but we'll have to see that. Next up, we've got Vegeta. So we're in the yellow part of this video. And honestly, I really like this leader, right? I think that it's been kind of the issue with the leader is that it hasn't had a lot of great events extras as of release to really take advantage of the 2 extra energy you get on defense. But the results of training, this card is great. This is a great card for the deck. So your cards that are in a battle area get plus 15k power for the battle, and then if there's a rest mode battle card with the cost of 3 or more in a battle area, your side, your opponent's side, whatever, this is almost always drawing a card, right? You don't even need to have like Majin Buu out for it. It's just like anything. Like if they are attacking with you with a 3 cost body, cool. Results of training plus 15k draw a card, right? That's very, very, very good. I think that helps out this deck a lot. Just being able to get some cycle, right? Like we've run like time reround before, which lets you kind of get a draw off like the 1-drop Bulma, right? But even without that, right? Like they can just get rid of it, and then what do you do, right? So I think both are great to help you get some card draw. We also have like this other 1-drop Bulma, which lets us get any of these extra cards back to our hand. I think Fierce Hyper Beam is going to be very good again against, ironically, Broly, and ironically because Bio Broly's on the picture of it. But being able to draw a card, then also just prevent like their 8-drop Brolys from doing anything, I think is very good. We have like good removal off our Frieza too, and so we just kind of want to get to the late game very consistently, get a lot of like protection for our stuff, and then if we are able to do so, we get to like play our 6-drop Frieza or just apply enough pressure where our opponent just kind of ends up losing naturally. So there are just a bunch of other cards I've considered for this deck too. There's also just like the new Vegeta from the starter deck too. This one's like a fine 5 cost, right? The fact that you get to attack with it twice and get rid of a 4 less, I think that's fine. I think that there's also I really, really, really wanted to run the I think it's from FBO5. Maybe it's from FBO4. Yeah, I wanted to run this one. So it becomes like a 50k on your opponent's turn, then end of turn for 1. You get like the stun effect, right? But I think it's like too expensive, and you'd rather, at the end of the day, you just rather play the Goku for it. But I could definitely see that other Vegeta being important for the decks. If you want to run that card, you can. Majin Buu might be like a little bit of a trap, but we're playing it at 3 copies right now. We also have Might of Mega Daima. So this is just like an unassuming card from FBO6, but on play, choose up to 1 rest mode battle card. Your opponent's battle area can't switch to active mode. So it's like a mini version of Son Goku, but this is like one of the best cards in our deck. So like, why not play a couple more copies of it that we play for 3? We can get like some early stunning, right? And that's just also just like another card. Like if we're playing against Broly, we play that out. Like what do they do? Like their 8-drop does nothing, which is great for us. So being able to just continually prevent them from playing bodies on the board and using their attacks, I think is good. I think that's something that this deck can do very successfully. And in general, like I think this is definitely a deck where there's going to be a lot of specific ratios and a lot of choices for that. I won't say that this is the build for it quite yet, but I honestly do have like a lot of faith in this deck to be moderately well in this format because of the new cards that we got from it. And like just even though it's just like results of training, like that card being able to draw a card, I think is great for what we're doing. So other than that, I think I'm really interested to see what testing looks like for this deck in the next little bit. But it's always a deck I come back to, and I think it's in an okay spot right now. We also have 2 of I guess kind of Majin Buu, right? This is Majin Buu Evil on the backside. This is Majin Buu. Generally speaking, I'm just going to go really quickly through this one. This deck is still really absurd. This deck is just going to be great. We got some like minor cards, right? Because we do have like these are Majin cards, right? So Majin Ku. So this is something that you can technically play off of your Babidi because it has the Majin type, right? So this is just like a 10k that the deck desperately needs more of, that you're able to play to be able to get like a 30k attack once, right? You can KO it later, and then you get your leader effect off of it too. But I think this is just a solid card for it. There's also Majin Du, which is like a 25k crit. If you think the crit pressure is more advantageous, like, and when you're already doing like a lot of hand destruction, that's probably fine. But the fact that this is a 10k is like the main reason we're playing this card. So I think that's important in its own right. So your opponent's like never going to get rid of it, which is good too. There's also like unironically, like we can play results of training in this deck too. If you really want to. If your opponent KOs any of your battle cards defensively, like on their turn against you, you can instead like use like this is auto once per turn, but not just your turn. So they can get rid of one of your cards. If they do so, then you can like get the energy back, and then you can play Resolve to Training and get the card draw on the plus 15k when they're likely not expecting it. So I could definitely see that at a couple copies. I also think like Fierce Hyper Beam could be in this deck too if you're afraid of Broly, even though we do have like stunning from Son Goku and stuff. So generally speaking, I think this deck is going to change a little bit from what it was in FBO5 with some tech choices, but it's the same kind of bread and butter for what we're doing. So you guys probably have opinions on this deck already, and I'll let me go to my Cope deck instead, which is this Babidi. This deck is always like really neat. It's a very neat deck, right? The fact that specifically we did get some support with this Dabura here. So blocker, if there's a Babidi in your battle area, you get to draw 1 card. So the fact that you do get to pretty consistently play this on 2 as a barrier. If your opponent's attacking with 3 cost cards, which maybe 3 cost cards are attacking more often in this meta. You get some free draws, which is really cool. That helps out, I think, the deck in some situations. It's really good against Majin Buu Evil, which is really funny as well. So that does get some good value for you. But then also you do get to, oh, we probably should put Final Explosion in this deck, right? Because that's also a Majin Wicked Soul card. Yeah. All right. Let me put 2 of those in. All right. We were maybe like 1 less energy absorption. But anyways, this is a build for it. But the fact that like the Dabra lets us like have something to play that draws us a card defensively with our leader effect, right? So one attacking, draw 1, play up to 1 battle card, cost 2 or less, and Wicked Soul or Evil Wizard and their special trait from your hand. So I think that is very good for the deck. The fact that this card can be played at the end to be able to find your like Wicked Soul stuff, our Majin Buu is good. Also, so this card's weird in this deck. So if your leader has Majin in its special traits, which the backside or the front side doesn't have it, but the backside has it, means that in like the once you're awakened, you can do your Bobbity stuff with being able to play out either Majin Buu Evil, whatever. So I think that's good. There's also like some weird scenarios too where like you need to like if you don't like you can play Bobbity to play out this to then play out Dabra for 2 at the end of the turn. You get the card draw because this still is a Bobbity, so that's kind of neat. All in all, I think there's this deck has like a lot of like weird ways to gain a lot of advantage. We also have like searchable ways to find like this Vegeta. This card's good. Goku or Majin Buu Kid still is a good finisher, and Vegeta Mini Daima I think is a good card for this deck too because we get to get rid of a 4 or less, kind of like a larger version of this Wicked Soul Vegeta, and all that's very good. And one like weird thing about this deck too, so this Pui is a Wicked Soul, so we can play at the end of our turn. Choose up to 1 field card with a cost of 2 or less in your opponent's battle area, place it in its owner's drop. So if there's like some matchups where this is relevant, this can be very strong, I think too. So that can help us out. I also think that there's like this is way off of this, but we also play field cards if you want. There's Bobbity Spaceship, which I don't think is super good in this format right now. Being able to stun something that's 4 or less can come up, but if currently I don't think it's needed. We could definitely play this card and can be like the way we build the deck in general. And if that's the case, we can definitely play like a how do I say it? Like there's just a we can play out like the other Majin stuff. So we can play Dr. Aransu, being able to play this to then play out a Majin Ku or Do for 1 less. Also, we can switch a card to our battle area to rest mode, which means that we can play we can rest our stage to draw a card, and then also we have the Bibbidi from FBO4 to be able to we can play it at the end of our turn with where is he? There's Bobbity, there's Bibbidi. We can play this off of our leader effect because it's an evil wizard effect, and then we can look top 5 for anything with Majin, with all the Majin Ku and Do stuff is also Majin. So there's like just a bunch of weird stuff we can do. Like there's just a lot of like weird overlap that this leader and what he gets to do can do. Is it good? Who's to say? Not me quite yet. But I'll definitely be doing some weird builds with this one. I really do like this deck, and I think it's really interesting. And not just because I ended up pulling the alt art leader for like from a pack or something. But we'll see if this is relevant. I obviously like here's the big bad boy, right? But I wanted to go through some weird deck building and choices I've been making with this one, and maybe we can do something with it. We'll end up seeing. And then lastly, we've got Gogeta. Black got like a weird card pool, right? Like I went through it, right? I'm like, surely there's like some like relevant cards that we can use generically in this color that we got. And no, we got literally this card, right? We got 6-drop Gogeta, which is great, right? This is a great card if we can get to 6 energy, which is a lot for black to get to sometimes, but that's it, right? This is the card, right? Like we can this helps out this deck so much. Like I feel like this deck had like very little direction on what it wanted to do, and the reason I say that is because like yeah, we have like the energy marker we get to make every turn, and that's great, but we don't really have a way to use it effectively, I feel like, most of the time. So now that we have like a 6-drop that we want to get to, and technically this is like a 5 cost in this deck, right? Because we do get like 1 ramp with a marker if we have it, right? But being able to get rid of anything is fantastic. The fact it's a non-KO removal is fantastic. Then if you don't have an energy marker, you get to place an energy marker. So if you use it with the marker, you get to play it out, which means that we can have 1 open for like ultimate sparking, or 1 open for like Para Brothers to play, right? All of that's great. All of these are great effects for this deck in particular. And I think it does like give us something to do late game, right? Like there's so many times where I'm like, yes, I got to the late game. I have like a pretty healthy hand size, But then, like, all I can do is play this 5-drop Goku, right? Which is a good card for helping us finish the game and get some card draw and stuff. But like outside of that, we don't really get that much value from this card, right? We it just like attacks twice as 30k, and we still have to lose a card from our hand, right? So I think that this is a deck now that can be like a little bit more viable, which is really cool, right? If you want to like really lean into more of the Another World stuff, I think you can. I think the more generic package from Black is just better, but you could, if you really want to, and get some more cards that you can search off of the oh man, I totally forgot the name of the card. It is the Pycon. Yeah, Pycon if you want to, right? Even though like man, this card's just so undertuned, right? It's just so hard to get value from it. But I think like there's that. But yeah, we didn't get anything else. Everything else is King Piccolo stuff, right? We could play this King Piccolo too, right? Just as like a backup copy of Son Goku GT if you really want to, right? I think the better card though in that case though is we just want to play out the promo Son Goku GT, right? The fact that you can get an energy marker by playing this card, this could just be better, right? The fact that on 4 you can play this, if you don't have a marker, get a marker, and then you get to go to 6 on the next turn. That could just be helpful, right? That could just be a backup copy of this card and help you just get to your plays that you really need to get to. So I don't know. I think this is a strong deck, though. I think this is a deck that was really close to being relevant, I think, in FBO5, but wasn't really getting enough value. And I think this Gogeta 6-drop can really change that in a lot of ways. So we'll see if that's true or not. But this is be like my first build with the deck if I was playing it, and I think it could do again a lot of good stuff. So not much more to say, but here is the build here for Gogeta, and that's going to be it for this video. Again, we've got a lot of decks, and these are just like my day one builds for a lot of these. These are going to change as we get more testing and more other people playing it too. And I'm looking forward to doing some testing Wednesday night, so the day after this video goes up, and also Friday on release of the update on the online client. We're definitely going to be playing a lot of games too. So that's going to be it for me. Let me know what decks you guys are interested in playing, any builds that you guys are interested in testing already, and we'll catch you all next time.